Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. Okay, welcome everybody. I have a very, very special treat for you today. I am downtown at the corner of Kimbrough and Traffic Way. You know this corner, it's a busy corner, but it got a lot better a few years ago with the addition of Holdfast Brewing Company, which was started by two sisters who did not know a lot about brewing beer, if anything. Carol McLeod is one of them. Susan could not join us today, but Carol, let's back up a little bit, talk about how you got started. Much of this has to do with your dad. You lost your dad, and everything changed. Tell me what happened.
So 10 years ago, we lost our dad unexpectedly, and I was working for corporate America, and one day I just had this epiphany of we should open a brewery. Kind of having that midlife crisis after losing him, and I talked to Susan about it, and she didn't totally laugh at the idea. And then I got my mom on board, and, you know, we've been very fortunate. Every domino has fallen our way. We loved beer, but we had never brewed beer before we decided to start this adventure.
Okay, so was your dad a big beer guy? Is that part of it?
No, our dad was a big Jameson, Bombay Sapphire, or maybe a Coors Light type of guy.
Okay, all right. So, and I'm sorry about your dad. Are you from around here?
We are. We all grew up here, all graduates of Springfield Catholic.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm very sorry to hear about your dad. But you bring this idea up with your sister. You think it might be fun to go into business together. Can you say who you worked for at the time? Are you good with that?
Yeah, I worked for Starbucks Coffee Company for 20 years.
And you lived where at the time?
I was in Tulsa managing a store, and when this idea started, I moved up here, and so we could start looking at locations and things like that.
Okay, so neither you nor your sister had any experience brewing beer. Before you started hunting for locations, did you figure the beer brewing process out first? Because it seems like that would kind of need to be the beginning of the story.
That is the most important part of the story, for sure. We started brewing your typical homebrew kit. We did our first beer on our dad's first birthday after his passing. It was terrible. But we learned a lot, and then I decided from my corporate background, I really wanted to know the details, so I applied to the American Brewers Guild and got accepted, and so I got a certificate in brewing science and engineering. And then I was still in Tulsa at the time, and I just happened to know of a new brewery that was open, and I started volunteering, and they couldn't get rid of me, and they answered all my questions, and that was Dead Armadillo. So I worked there part-time on my days off from Starbucks.
Okay, so you were in it. You were pretty much immersed in the process trying to figure it out. Okay, so fast forward to you and your sister thinking, all right, so we can do this. I know how to brew this stuff now. I'm getting the hang of it. Then you need to find a place to operate your business. So when did you find this gem of a building? This is fire station number 1, decommissioned fire station. How did that come about?
What's funny is that we have a friend that loves to look at the news, the city news, and all of a sudden this came across this city website, I guess, about they were selling this fire station and the fire station by Parkview. And when we came through and toured it, and the moment I walked in, I knew this was our location. We had looked at a lot of places, and my background from Starbucks and all the breweries we've been to, we knew location was going to be the key to our success.
What was it about this that drew you to it, other than it's just a cool space? But of course, I'm sure it looked nothing like this when you first walked in the door.
No, it was the city's giant junk closet, actually. All the garage doors, it already had the concrete. There is actually an old fire station in Denver that was turned into a brewery. It's called Station 26. It has the same subway tile. And you just walked in and you could just envision how it was supposed to look and feel. And I love that it has a history and a story. It's just not a building that we built or something that we kind of forced a brewery into. It just has the feel of a brewery. And to have that fire station story with it, I think it makes it special and unique.
It's a wonderful spot. I think part of the greatness of this place is the patio. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I love the patio. Susan and I are patio drinking people. It was very important to us to have a great patio where you can listen to music, where the food trucks can pull right in and you're right there. You don't have to leave your beer and go stand out somewhere else. And you get to see downtown, you get to see the ball field, you look at the shrine. And one of my favorite things is during baseball season, the fireworks on Fridays. We have the perfect view, and sometimes the music's still playing and the fireworks are going off. It's just a great location.
It is a great space for sure. All right, so how long did it take you to get this building up and ready? And you brew the beer here too.
Yes, we do. All the brewing in-house. It was bought in September of 2018, and we ended up opening a year later in August of 2019. So 6 months before COVID shut everything down, we opened. A lot of the things were more the electrical and the plumbing to get the brew house ready. It took a good 6 months to get it where we needed it to be.
All right, let's talk about the beer. Did you start with one? Did you start with four? What was your first one? What was your first concoction?
Well, our first concoction was Patio Pleaser because, again, we have a cool patio. We like to drink on a patio. It's a golden ale. That was our very first beer that we brewed. When we opened, we only opened with 3 beers. Patio Pleaser, Boondock Brown, which is an easy drinking brown ale made to be drank during, when it's 110 degrees outside, and then the Experience. And then everything else, we brought in guest taps. We really wanted to make sure that we had our beers tuned in, dialed the right way before we just opened up with 20 beers and they were all kind of meh. Because it does take some time going from a small system to a big system. And Susan does most of the brewing, so she was learning as she was going. So, as we grew and got through those first couple months, and then COVID hit, so it gave us plenty of time to downtime to work on things. Then we really got to start playing with our Lazy Day Lager and our Traffic Way IPA and really have opened it up since.
Traffic Way IPA, by the way, is my go-to here. I absolutely love that one. And Susan, I don't know that I have ever been here that she's not been back there, and I'm pointing toward the tanks, on a ladder or something, because every time I've ever been here, she's been back there doing the brewing, yes. Which, I think is just fabulous. And this is a female-owned and operated business, by the way.
Yes, female-owned, female brewers. We're one of maybe 400 breweries in the country that actually is female-owned and female brewers. Our other sister, Erin, is our CPA. She owns an accounting firm in California, so we're one of her few brewery clients. And then we have a brother who's a lawyer who likes free beer and babysitting. And then our 78-year-old mom you can find on the weekends sometimes cleaning glassware and running around the brewery.
I don't think I've met Mom yet. I'm really eager to meet Mom for sure. So it's definitely a family affair, and I love that about it. Back up a second to COVID, because I remember you telling me, and I'm sorry I never did this, you, like everyone else, had to pivot when COVID happened and figure out, well, we still want to get beer to the people who want it because they're all stuck at home. and heaven knows we needed a little something to help us pass the time at home. So what did you do here to facilitate people purchasing the beer? I love this story.
So we turned to our staff, and they had some great ideas, and we decided to turn the brewery into a drive-through. I mean, it's a fire station, so we have all the garage doors. So we test drove our mom through it, and she didn't hit anything, so we decided we could open it up to the public. And people loved it. They got to drive through a fire station and pick up their beer to go at the same time. It really helped us survive those first couple weeks of COVID for sure.
I love that story. I wish I would have known about that and realized it. I would have loved to have driven my car through here just to say that I did. I'm looking at your menu now, and you have several different offerings up there, including some sours. Let's see, what else have you got? You've got the lager, IPA, wheats, kombucha. That's from Spring Branch. Love Spring Branch. Talk about your sours. I mean, is that a relatively new thing, the sours, that you've started? Or is that something that Susan kind of said, hey, I like a sour, let's try it?
Well, what's funny is that Susan does all the traditional brewing. She makes all the lagers, pilsners, marzons. I'm the one who throws the fun stuff in it, so I do the sours. My partner loves sours, and I was never a sour fan, and it's a huge successful category. So, we started sours probably right after we got out of COVID, and we started with the Momo Peach, and now every year I will do things from blueberry lemon. I've got the raspberry lemon up there now. I'm going to do a cherry pie sour coming out probably in a couple weeks. So yeah, the sours are a huge category. The other fun thing that we do that you don't find at a lot of breweries or a lot of restaurants, bars, is that we carry gluten-free beer, and we carry 5 different styles of gluten-free beer. It's award-winning. It's certified gluten, so there's not that chemical added to make it gluten-less. And then we carry 18 styles of athletic, the NA, non-alcoholic beers, which is it's one of the fastest growing categories in the brewing industry right now. And then we carry anything from seltzers, canned cocktails, ciders, seltzers, wine, you name it, boozy popsicles. And of course we have everybody's favorite, the adult slushy machine.
I dig the adult slushies. Was that your idea?
That was actually Susan's. She found it when she was at a work conference, and I'm the mad scientist who plays with all the fun flavors.
Oh, you have some great flavors. You really do. I've had your margaritas. I've had they're just delicious. Was it you that came up with the peanut butter stout?
That one was one of mine. Susan wanted, the stout was really chocolatey, and she's like, man, some peanut butter would be good in this. And I was like, I can make that happen. So I split the batch and added a different flavor.
Okay, good work. All right, so I'm checking out. Now, you do have food trucks, and there's an array of them, and your calendar's really handy at talking about what food trucks will be here what night, which is great because it gives the food trucks some exposure as well. One of my favorite things, and I have a sneaking suspicion you came up with this, is the Girl Scout cookie pairing that you tend to do annually, I think. Yeah. Tell me, how did that come about?
Well, flights are a great way to get people to try different styles of beer. It's a small taste. And who doesn't love a Girl Scout cookie and a beer at the same time? So we started with the Girl Scout flights. It's been very popular. We also do the Halloween candy flight. We do that in the month of October. And this last January, we did a dry flight, because everybody does a dry January. And so we did a dry flight of athletic beers, which was a huge success for us.
Nice. I am seeing more lower alcohol, lower sugar, particularly in the wine categories. I'm seeing that. But it is nice to have that for people who don't want to imbibe and have alcohol, but they do want the flavor of beer. And the designated driver can enjoy things every bit as much as everybody else, right?
Right, and they can be part of the experience. They can still come. They don't have to feel like they're excluded. That's part of our mission statement, that everybody feels welcome, and we understand not everybody likes to drink beer. So that's why we offer so many different selections. And, you know, they can still come down, have fun, hang out with their friends, and they don't feel pressured to have to either just drink water or not participate because they don't have something to drink.
Good work on that. All right, another thing that you do, you mentioned the beautiful patio out here in the stage. You have live music here a lot. Talk a little bit about how that came to be.
Well, we knew that we wanted to have a stage, and Susan and I know nothing about music, so we were smart enough to hire Sarah Tweedle, who does all our music bookings. And so she put together the jazz on every Tuesday nights. You can see her, Tweedle and the D's play. It's her dad and her husband play. I think it's the second Thursday of the month. And then she books all the musicians, and she, you know, we wanted a nice variety, different styles, and she just does such a great job. She also does all our special events, from book club to music bingo, trivia. So she does all that. She's our social events person, and she handles all the music.
She does an amazing job, and she's so much fun. I adore her. Tweedle and the D's are a great, they're really good. You know, I've been here for Jazz Night, one of my favorite nights, because jazz is exploding in this area. I mean, really, you know, and I think you're a big role in that, because you give a venue for people to get up there and sing and play music, and it's just fantastic. But you do have an array of great events here. Book club, you know, book club in a brewery, that's a big deal, and I haven't even been to that yet.
What? Book club, when Sarah came to Susan and I, she's like, I want to do a book club. After I stopped laughing, because I was like, you, book club? They've been around since the beginning. They have their own merchandise. She averages 50 to 75 people each book club meeting, and they have a fun time picking their books. I mean, I think they have 1,500 followers on Facebook. It's probably more. Sorry, Sarah.
And some of them probably actually read the book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just love it. And it's been one of our most successful, and it was one of our first events that we decided to do on a regular basis.
Well, and I mean, there may be people who are really more just sit on the patio and drink beer people, but are like, you know, that sounds like something I'd like to get involved in, because I should read more and I need recommendations, you know. So is it mostly women, or is it a mix?
It's a great mix, all different ages, sexes. I mean, it's just a fun mix, and they become friends. They do a book swap twice a year. They do all kinds of fun stuff. So book club's the way to go.
Gotcha. All right, I want to talk real quick, too, about one of my favorite nights, which is Vinyl Night. Holy cow, I came to that one night just for fun, and I cannot get enough of that. Jeff Riggins from over at Drury started this, and I guess he and some of the other guys reached out to you and said, what do you think? So what is that like for you guys?
It's super easy. I mean, they come and they set up their fancy turntables, and everybody knows vinyl music just sounds better. There's something about it. And they pick a genre, and they put QR codes so you can help pick songs, and they just rock out for a couple hours, and it just gives it a whole different vibe and chill in the brewery. It's a lot of fun.
I'm told the staff gets to pick the last song of the night. Have you been here for that?
I have not been here that late for that, but we did Women in Rock, and that one was a really fun song, you know, the singers to pick out and bands. That was a lot of fun. I was here for that one.
That's a really, really fun night. That's one of those that you have to check the calendar and just see kind of when it starts, but this is such a welcoming place. It's wide open. It's a space to be social. And I've never been in here that I didn't run into someone I know, or someone new that I don't know that now I consider a friend, which I love that part of it. So what would your dad say about all of this, you and Susan? And and your brother and sister have done here?
He would be very, very proud. I think he would definitely come down. He was an attorney, so he would come down here. I mean, he would have been retired, but he would have come down here, had a beer or two. I think he would have enjoyed when we have Jameson on, things like that. But I know he's really proud, and he keeps an eye out for Susan and I for sure.
Okay, an extra question, extra points, Carol. Where did you get the name Holdfast?
So Holdfast, our last name is McLeod, and our Holdfast is part of our family motto back in Scotland. So the bull's head logo is part of our family crest, and then we use Holdfast as the motto for Holdfast Brewing.
And now some of your beers are named for your Scottish heritage, correct?
That is correct. We always have Highlander wheat on, and then we have the Wallace Black IPA, so Sir William Wallace, Freedom, Mel Gibson, and then like our Dunvegan is our Scottish ale, and Dunvegan is our family castle back in Scotland.
Ooh, have you been to the family castle?
I have not, unfortunately.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm Scottish too. I'm part of the Robertson clan. We need to join forces here and go over there.
I think we should. I think that would be a good trip.
So is Holdfast something you literally used to say to each other to kind of get you, centered, motivated, keep you in the game? Is that like your calling card with your family?
No, actually, Holdfast is kind of funny. It's also a nautical term, so you'll see a lot of Navy guys that will have Holdfast tattooed on their knuckles, which is kind of weird. I think they're submarine guys. So it's nautical, but Holdfast, yeah, you stay strong, stay the course. I'm sure there's a funny McLeod story somewhere in the history books about why they chose Holdfast.
Okay, so here's to your Scottish heritage, our Scottish heritage.
That's right. Cheers.
Carol McLeod, thank you so much, and keep up the great work here at Holdfast Brewing. Absolutely love it.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. It's jazz.
It's jazz. Joy loves jazz. I'll be here.
That should be a t-shirt. Joy loves jazz.
You know it.